Did you do your homework? Either way, don't worry, there's not going to be a quiz. But remember, there are no shortcuts to reversing kidney disease or any other health conditions. I was able to overcome my health problems by using my Reed system and changing my lifestyle. In the last video, I asked you to take a look at what you're afraid of. Is that fear making you succumb to your illness? Or can you channel that fear into something positive and come up with a plan that will help you eventually stop the illness and then hopefully reverse it like I have? That's called resilience. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover the E in my Reed system, which stands for education. Because education is going to be such a long topic, I'm going to split it up into several different videos because, again, I'm trying to keep these videos short so that I can keep your attention. So in order to beat or reverse kidney disease or any other health condition, you have to educate yourself about the condition itself. In my case, when I found out I had chronic kidney disease, I started looking into it. And what I found out was that, could it be genetic? Yeah. But the definition of chronic kidney disease in itself is damaged kidneys. And how did they get damaged? Well, it could come from a lot of things. It could stem from different diseases like polycystic kidney disease. Again, could it be from just getting the wrong genetic, card? Sure. In my case, no one can give me an answer. I had all the tests. I saw my primary physician. I saw a nephrologist. I did, they poked and prodded me and stuck me and ran all these tests. And the only thing they could tell me was that I had chronic kidney disease, and no one could really point to a reason. So with that, I didn't spend a lot of time trying to learn about kidney disease itself. I put my time and efforts into learning what factors can be harmful and what factors can hopefully be helpful for me to accomplish my goal, which initially was just to stop the progression of the kidney disease. So when I started educating myself, what I quickly learned from, my visits to the nephrologist as well as to a dietitian, I started learning about foods and also about just different, factors that, we run into every day, such as stress, okay, or dehydration, not drinking enough water. That those were certainly things that could contribute, and that if I could eliminate those factors, that, that could be helpful. So that's what I was looking for. I started drinking a lot of water, and I tried to put into a lot of different protocols that would help me to eliminate stress. And I'll get much more into those later. But really the first thing that I dove into was food, because, food is what we all rely on to live. And food can be medicine if treated properly, as I later learned. And what I found out right away was that the 3 Ps, potassium, phosphorus, and protein, are all 3 things that kidneys and kidney disease they don't like. The other is salt. Now, getting rid of salt wasn't hard for me because I'm not a big salter anyway, but I was really surprised when I started looking at labels to find out, how much salt is just in any food, whether you're salting or not. But in terms of adding salt, I would certainly recommend that, you stop doing that, because salt's a big enemy of chronic kidney disease. As far as foods, I started with the proteins, and the proteins are also linked kind of hand in hand with phosphorus. So as far as proteins go, I did give up red meat because, I was told, and I did some research, and I found out that it's just harder for the kidney to eliminate the toxins and clean the blood from red meat. So I went to a fish, chicken, and turkey diet, and, I put that in right away. As far as fruits and vegetables, what I found was that on the potassium side, the best fruits are anything that's not citrus. So apples, berries are wonderful, grapes, pineapple. High potassium foods would be bananas, avocados, and, again, anything that has citrus in it. So grapefruit, oranges, other things like that. On the phosphorus side, which was something I hardly ever even heard of, a lot of foods that are high in protein also are high in phosphorus. So legumes, which would include beans, lentils, nuts. Certainly there's some legumes that are lower than others, but they're very high in phosphorus. Dairy products, very high in phosphorus. So things that you would think are okay, like yogurt, low-fat milk, they're still super high in phosphorus. So as I researched it, I really started getting a little bit discouraged, because I realized, my Lord, there's just not much there that you can eat if you're trying to balance a kidney diet along with a diabetic diet. On the diabetes side, I knew that, I wanted to eliminate any white flour, and I was kind of going more towards some of these legumes and other protein sources, and eating whole grain type of pastas and oats. Well, whole grains and oats are very high in phosphorus, and some are high in potassium. So how do you balance that? Well, in my case, what I ended up doing was deciding that, look, I can do this if I limit my meat intake to certain types of meats, and I take protein supplement with some good quality proteins. I like a pea powder, vegetable pea powder that's got a good protein and it's not high in phosphorus. And I would eat, lean cuts of meat, particularly, again, chicken, turkey, and fish. And then I went more with the vegetable route, because on the vegetables, there were a lot of things that I could eat that are filling, and they were containing the right amount of, the potassiums and the phosphorus, where I didn't really have to worry about them. Particularly like eggplant, certain types of zucchinis. Red peppers are great. Any peppers are great. But learning what vegetables, substituting spinach with arugula for my salads, making my own dressing with olive oil and balsamic vinegar, and then sticking with the fruits that I mentioned earlier. And by doing that, I was able to come up with a diet that, I could live with. And fortunately, I really enjoy cooking and experimenting. So I did learn about, being able to create different diets and using techniques like boiling or air frying, versus roasting, or other ways that might be able to lower potassium levels or phosphorus levels. So very important that, you research your diet, you learn what foods will work with whatever health obstacles that you're facing, and then you commit to being able to eat those foods, and not cheat, and again, be very disciplined, the D in my read system, and put a plan into action, the A in my read system. So to sum it up, I eliminated all processed foods, pastas, dairy, and breads in exchange for only whole foods. If it has more than 1 or 2 ingredients, I don't eat it. And by doing that, it's allowed me to get rid of pretty much all salt in my diet and to be able to control only the foods that I want to have that include the right levels of the 3 Ps. So with that, I'm going to show you a picture of my yummy dinner tonight, which was chicken, asparagus, and red peppers made in the air fryer. And I'll continue more on the pillar of education in the next video.